Welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group, bringing you interviews with Colorado's best real estate and mortgage professionals, empowering you to understand the current trends in the housing market so you can make the American dream your reality. Enjoy today's episode.
Well, it's a great day in Colorado, and welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast. Today we have with us Sreedhar Donthula. Welcome to the program, Sreedhar.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so I always am excited to talk to people about their experiences, and especially when we're talking now about the Colorado real estate market. I know a lot of people have questions, and how vibrant is it? Is it going to change? And what about the bubble? But before we dive into some of those questions, give us a little bit of your background and what got you into the real estate industry.
Yeah, I moved to Colorado in fall of 1996. I did my master's at University of North Texas. That's how I came to U.S. I was from India. I had an engineering background. I came for doing master's in computer science and moved to Denver. And that too, it happened. I came on a vacation at the summer trip for July 4th and fell in love with Colorado. And that same year, I applied for a job here and moved in and never went back. This is almost 25 and a half years, more than 25 and a half years. And my journey into real estate started when I got my second home. The first home, I bought it with one of the agents, and second home, when I was buying, I was doing a lot of research on it, and a lot of my friends, I helped several of my friends buy the house where I bought it and helped part of the research I did. And right when I realized, why should I not be an agent? And
you were doing all the work of an agent, but you didn't work the agent.
Yes, exactly what happened. And that's when in 2004 early, or 2003 end, I would say, that's when I researched on what to do and joined the real estate college, and I became an agent in early 2004. And it's been more than 18 years being a real estate agent right here in Colorado.
You know, when you talk to people and you hear things like that, it can tell you so much about their character. And one of the things that I heard with that is you're a giving person because, yes, they were your friends, but you don't need to do all kinds of extra work in helping people research and find, other than the fact that you are a very giving person and caring about them. And then, like you said, the realization hits you that, well, if I'm doing all of this, may as well take the test and become an agent and get compensated for it. And then now you just live the dream by continuing to help people and serve, and then you're in the real estate industry.
That's right, exactly right. And there were certain things which I was expecting from the agent at the time, and some things more than just adding up some extra information. The very first home when I bought, there was a big crack, kind of a foundation issue, which was ignored by the agent after pointing, and those kind of things. As we learn more and what we could have done, those things helped. Okay, when I become an agent, I need to point out each and every one of these issues, which can be huge, big things in the future, which will at least help any future buyer. Some of those things, still, all those kind of things. What can you do better? It kind of started off as more of, okay, I can help with more knowledge, and being in IT, you can learn more quickly. I can guess or read more or understand more, grasp easily with my engineering background. So it was adding up, or I can feel as part of this is something not new. This is something I feel home.
And with your engineering background, you probably were mentally putting processes in place to say, okay, I didn't really like this, but if I could have done it differently, or when I become an agent, here's how I would do it better. And this whole if this, then that.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And
that's a great.
I want anyone. I was thinking was if I do a sale, I want that client first thing he should be thinking positive about me, that he helped. I want him in his heart. Doesn't mean if he tells to his friends or other people, but at least within his heart, he feels, okay, Sreedhar, help me. He pointed me something which I did not know, and he was truthful. And he is knowledgeable. These are the things that doesn't sense. Some of the people are more verbose and they can tell to their friends, and some of them keep it with themselves. And the clientele I work with, and eventually it kind of became a profession. It's initially started as a part-time something. I will make some extra few bucks, and as the time went on, initially first 3-4 years on, and then it became more of my profession.
Mm-hmm. Well, I find it curious that in the real estate profession, it's called, we're all done, let's go to the closing. Well, in reality, from your perspective, it really should be called the opening, because it's the opening of a relationship. It's not closing and see you later, goodbye, and you'll never hear from me again. It's really the opening of a relationship. And I know that, yes, you have to close the deal and sign papers, but I think mentally people should approach that as we are launching together into this relationship where hopefully this is not the first house that I help you with, or maybe it's an investment property, or maybe you're going to sell this house and move up to a bigger one down the road. So it really is that relationship building process.
That is exactly true. And I did not realize much initially, but whatever I was doing exactly was helping. And because this was more about relation, most of them ended up as my friends, long-term friends, family friends, kids, their kids kind of help know each other. A lot of these relations developed, and pretty much a huge big family. And sometimes I get scared to throw a party because the family's too big now.
You create a new customer because the family's growing. Well, what type of customers and clients do you work with? Do you find yourself working mostly with buyers or sellers, or is it a good mix?
Initially, it started off mostly for the buyers, and I can credit some of that during the 2008 economic downtime. That's when the market overall crashed, and short sales, foreclosures, they were there. Pretty much predominant, and that's when I was kind of bubbling as a real estate agent from my initial nascent years. And when I was seeing all these kind of deals, it's when I saw all those opportunities, when I was showing to my friends and everybody. It started off as a buyer because I didn't have a client base, so most of these grabbed all these good deals, and negotiation, I used to negotiate pretty hard, and some of them were taught by my clients to me, and I worked with all kinds of clients with a lot of patience, and you need to be very, very high endurance and patience, unlimited. So that is how I kind of grew up, learned with my clients and how to persist. And as that happened, I grew my buyer's client base, and eventually it took me almost like 7 or 8 years to got my first listing, and potentially from my client base,
from the buyers that now needed to be a seller.
Yes, exactly, and that's how it kind of slowly went into. And currently, and I would say, over the period of time, the last 2 years, I think all the Zillow and all these big corporations took away some of that listing assignments. Kind of, they were offering very high prices on it, not limited to Zillow, and that was impacting this listing part of it. And I can tell you from 2021 and even like 2021 late that year on, I can see a lot more of the sellers coming back to me, and I'm doing more of a dual.
You probably will agree with this with your technology background. Some people would say the whole industry of whatever, mortgage, real estate, will go away with artificial intelligence, technology. And that's not the case, because there is never going to be a replacement for a human. And for someone that can look logically at a situation, and like what you just said, maybe the market should price this house at X, but you might know something about it and say, well, you said you really need to move the house quicker, so let's go ahead and I feel like so many people want to rely on technology to replace humans, and they're afraid that that's going to happen. But in reality, when you're working with the right person that's knowledgeable, that beats technology all over, because that person knows how to use technology along with their experience and common sense.
And I can say this, add to that is, and my clients, they definitely value my honesty and my truthfulness to them. And they know I'm very, very honest and they used to come and say, Sreedhar, hey, I got an offer from one of these online buyer. And hey, what do you suggest? Can you sell it anything higher? I used to look, analyze and say, I wish I could, but I can tell you, better take the deal and close it. I'll be happy for you. Get this price. I know I will not get the business, but I'm glad you got this offer, and go for it. And the way it kind of benefited me, I'll tell you, is these folks got a very hefty price during those times, and they used that money, and I helped them buy another investment property. And it helped me, and at the same time, they know. I don't want to lie to them saying that I can list this at a higher price, I can sell it and make money. I was not doing that. So
they appreciated that honesty. Yeah. Someone today, I was talking to someone else on an interview, and they were talking about just people feel like real is rare. When you are real and authentic and transparent and honest, these days it is very rare. So when someone like yourself is coming back to these people, they were almost thinking, well, I guess Sreedhar is going to go ahead and tell me. And then when you came back and said, no, I think that's the best, you need to take it, I think that they almost were like, stop going, thank you. That's refreshing.
And they realize it too. And later on, and once I can show them that, hey, this particular buyer took this house and they listed at this price, and they could not sell anywhere close to what you got. That makes them happy. Some kind of a weird, not in another way.
It confirms your position down the road. So let's talk about market conditions now. And I think that no matter what time of month or year we will put the pin on, market conditions always fluctuate. So what should someone, whether they're looking to buy or to list, what should they be thinking regarding market conditions? And it really doesn't matter whether it's June of 2022 or July of 2029, market conditions will change. So what should people think about when they're approaching buying or selling?
So that's one of the common questions I get when the market is going up. Hey, Sreedhar, it looks like the market is at the peak. Do you advise this is a good time to buy? And day by day looking at the market and what listings are coming and how many showings are happening, how the bidding wars are happening, how many buyers are in the pipeline, and you see at the builders how many people are in the wait list, 100 plus people waiting, and every one home there are like 30 offers, 20 offers. And if the buyers ask that question during that situation, all I can tell them is, hey, I know market is at peak, but I don't think the peak is done, at least from what I know. If this is something you need to buy now, I would not waste time. If you want to wait for a few more months, all I can tell you is from now I cannot predict the market in the future. I am not that. If that was the case, I would have been doing something else. But this is what I see in the next 2-3 months. And then right now, the things change, right? I've been looking at the up and down markets. From the time I started real estate, I have seen the huge ups, the pre-2008 crash, the market peak during that 2004, 5, 6, 7 time frame. It kind of went to one peak and then dropped like anything. And it took almost like 3-4 years. And around 2014 from Colorado or Denver specialty areas, that's when it kind of leveled to where the 2007 was. And from there, we never saw slowdown. It just kept going up. And 2022, from March of 2022, I can tell market started slowing down. And now people ask me, market is going down. Is it a good time to wait? They will not say to buy now. How much should I wait? Can I wait till next year or 1 year? The questions are again, the thing is, if you need a home, are you're buying for an investment, and that particular property with the finances makes sense. That is where I help them. I put up all the numbers.
That's a good point.
They don't have to do anything.
It gets down to their situation. Do you need to relocate and leave Denver? Well, that might change your time frame. Or could you wait a year or two? So it kind of gets into a combination of your market knowledge as well as their time frame and need.
The advantage of when it is in the increasing market, when you're having a bidding situation, if you wait a month, the house might have gone up by another $20,000. And if you wait, that's what you're losing. And now you didn't get a house in bidding wars, and now it's an option, something somebody is looking. They can think, cool, when the market is slowing down, you can negotiate, you can find the house you want, you can take breather, you can rethink what kind of house you want. You have all those options. And when the interest rate stabilize or go down sometime in the future, you can refinance. And the rents on the other side are going crazily high. The reason some of these people want to buy is they don't want to pay that huge rents. And as the market slowed down, you're getting at a lower price, but you may be paying more in the mortgage, but end of the day, you're paying a lot higher in the rents. And if you're trying to rent a home, I don't think in Denver metro area, any decent home is less than $3,000 a month. That's for the 3-bedroom. And some old, not so good looking, they are below 3, but majority of them I do property management. That's part of my service I added over the years, and that's a huge chunk of my business I do. And average home, single family, is around $3,400 a month is my average monthly rent. Can you tell? Is it still worth to pay $3,400 a month, not getting $1 in payment? You need to think what is right. So every situation is different.
Yes.
And just making them understand, you cannot, people make the decisions, but I try to help them. At least I add the math to it, by being more stronger in math, put together what it is. I put together a spreadsheet and send that, explain that what it means.
Yeah. And also with the experience you have with, like you just mentioned, with property management, that brings another layer of your knowledge because you can explain to a client, well, here's, like what you just said, well, the average rent is $3,400. So, and then I think that will help their perception of the market and go, oh, well, okay, that makes sense. Rather than you just pushing one thing and not explaining the full picture. Having the experience that you have in buying and selling and property management, that brings a pretty full picture to your clients.
Yeah, it does definitely help. It has helped them. And some of the people, if they cannot sell a home, let's say, for example, you're mentally stuck as a seller, say February or March of 2022. Now it may be we may come back to that date. If people, viewers who are listening to this, March 2022 was the peak from my analysis. And if they think compared to the prices sold in that time, it may not come back that soon. And if they have that in the mind and they want their homes to be sold at or above that price, it's not happening. And if they're stuck to it, one of the options they do is rent it. And I can help that too. That's what I do. And I cannot sell this under this. Then what do you do if it doesn't sell?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because their circumstance may be such that they have to get a certain price. If the market has moved below that price, then that would be a wonderful alternative, is to rent it, and then your property management division can help them with that.
Yep.
Well, I think that's really a wonderful way to kind of wrap up the thought here, from your vast experience and analytical background and proving with numbers and projections. It's just a really neat way to be able to work with your customers and serve them and teach them what they need to know. If someone is listening to this and thinking, maybe Sreedhar can give me some advice and guidance, what's the best way that they can reach out and connect with you and learn more from your website or contact information?
Yes, they can go to my website. It is DonthulaRealty.com. It's my last name, the company, Donthula Realty. My full name is Sreedhar Donthula, and they can reach at email agent@DonthulaRealty.com or call my cell, which is available almost 19 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's my promise to my client.
You need some personal time, so let's cut back on that 19 hours. But that's great that you're available.
It's the 303-903-5211. That's one of the other thing I do is that phone number keeps ringing. This is all my 18-year-old clients. If they have some issue or other, they're starting from that to the guy who is just looking at a home. So I need to have that many hours to service my clients.
Yes. Well, you are dedicated, and I can just tell they really get wonderful service from you. So thank you so much for coming on the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast. It's been a real pleasure talking with you today, Sreedhar.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.coloradorealestateleaders.com.